I knew it was a bad idea. I had heard stories, people receiving disturbing objects, cursed artifacts, even evidence of crimes. But curiosity got the best of me. Now, standing alone in my dimly lit apartment, I hesitated. Something about the box felt wrong. It was heavier than I expected, and when I shook it lightly, something inside shifted, scraping against the sides. The sound was sharp, metallic. I swallowed hard, grabbed a knife, and slowly sliced through the tape. The first thing I noticed was the smell, a pungent, almost chemical odor mixed with something rotting. My stomach twisted. Carefully, I peeled back the flaps and looked inside. At the top, neatly placed, was a single Polaroid photo. My breath hitched as I picked it up. The picture was of me, taken from outside my apartment window. Cold fear washed over me. The timestamp in the corner read 2:37 a.m., less than 30 minutes ago. I spun around, scanning the room, my heart pounding in my ears. My blinds had been closed all night, or so I thought. My hands shook as I reached for the next item. A small, rusted key. It looked old, its surface scratched and worn. Beneath it, there was a folded note, stained and yellowed. I unfolded it slowly, my pulse racing. Use the key. You're already part of the game. I felt a chill creep up my spine. What game? Who was watching me? My mind screamed at me to throw the box away, to call the police, to do anything but keep going. But I couldn't stop. I dug deeper, pushing aside a layer of crumpled black tissue paper. There was a small wooden box inside, locked. My fingers clenched around the rusted key. I didn't want to open it. Every instinct told me not to open it. But I had to. I needed to know. The key fit perfectly. As I turned it, the lock clicked open with a soft, almost deliberate sound. I lifted the lid and immediately recoiled. Inside was a human tooth, stained, jagged, real. Next to it, a tiny cassette tape, the kind used in old voice recorders. My hands felt numb as I picked it up. Why would they send this to me? What was on it? I didn't own a cassette player, but I knew where I could find one. My neighbor, Mr. Holloway, was a collector of vintage tech. I grabbed the tape and rushed next door, knocking frantically. No answer. I knocked again. Still nothing. The hallway was eerily silent, but his door was slightly open. Mr. Holloway? My voice was barely above a whisper. I pushed the door open further, stepping inside. The air was thick, stale, and the lights flickered weakly. His living room was a mess, papers scattered, furniture overturned. My stomach dropped, and then I saw him. Slumped in his armchair, his head tilted at an unnatural angle. His mouth hung open in a silent scream, and his eyes were missing. My breath caught in my throat as I stumbled backward, knocking into a table. A sharp click echoed through the room. The cassette player. It had started playing. A distorted voice crackled through the speaker. "You shouldn't have opened the box." I froze. The voice was deep, mechanical, unnatural. "You let it in." A soft, creaking noise came from behind me. Slowly, dreading what I might see, I turned around. The closet door was open. Something moved in the shadows. A figure, tall, impossibly thin, its limbs contorted, its head twitching as if struggling to stay upright. Its face, or what should have been a face, was wrapped in old, yellowed bandages, soaked through with something dark. It knew I saw it, and then it moved. I ran. I don't even remember making it back to my apartment, but suddenly I was there, slamming the door behind me, locking it, barricading it with whatever I could find. My chest heaved, my mind spiraling. The tape, the note, the picture, the thing. I grabbed the box, my hands shaking so violently I could barely hold on to it. There had to be something I missed, something that could explain what was happening. My fingers dug through the remaining contents, pulling out the last item. A small, black envelope. Inside, there was another photo. My blood ran cold. It was me again. But this time I wasn't alone. Behind me, standing in the corner of my apartment, barely visible in the shadows, was it. The photo was dated tomorrow. A loud knock shattered the silence. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. My phone vibrated. A new message, no number, just a single word. "Ready?" The knocking continued. Louder, more insistent. I held my breath, and then my phone buzzed again, a live video feed. It was coming from my front door. With trembling hands, I tapped the screen. The camera feed loaded, showing the hallway outside. Empty. But the knocking hadn't stopped, and then, slowly, the camera started to glitch. The image twisted, distorted, and something stepped into view. I dropped my phone. My heart slammed against my ribs. My door handle rattled. It was inside. The lights flickered. The air grew thick, suffocating. My vision blurred as a